While her husband was asleep, the woman quietly picked up his phone and used his fingerprint to unlock it. Sure enough, she found a secret on the phone. Her husband had been keeping a mistress behind her back. The woman did not fly into a rage on the spot. Instead, she took screenshots of all the incriminating evidence and sent them to her own phone. Then she deleted every trace of her browsing history and acted as if nothing had happened. The next day, the woman followed the clues to the neighborhood where the mistress lived. The moment she arrived downstairs, she froze, because this neighborhood was the unfinished property she and her husband had bought 3 years ago. Back then, after they bought the apartment, her husband lied to her and said the development had already been abandoned, and that construction had stopped, with no one taking care of it. He told her not to go back and look at it anymore. The woman believed his lie. Over the next few years, she worked hard to make money, lived frugally, and repaid the $3 million mortgage. She never expected that all of it had been a carefully fabricated scam by her husband. The development in front of her had not been abandoned at all, and all the supporting facilities were in place. She found the wedding home they had bought earlier, but the one who opened the door was a young girl. After learning that the girl was the owner of the apartment, the woman could not believe any of it. She then went to the property management office to ask for the resident information of the unit she had previously bought, and she also produced her marriage certificate and the purchase contract, so the staff could verify them. The property manager told her that the apartment had already been delivered in 2019, and more than 3 years had passed since then. She then asked who was living in the apartment. The staff said the owner was a young girl. When that girl came to the property office to register, she said this was her boyfriend's apartment. Then the property office pulled up the neighborhood surveillance footage for the woman to see. In the video, the person coming in and out of the apartment was her husband and that young girl. The woman suddenly understood everything. Her husband always used business trips as an excuse in daily life. In fact, he was not out there working at all, but staying with his mistress in their marital home. Thinking about all this, the woman felt a wave of disgust. Then, she asked the property office to copy the surveillance footage, and silently swore that she would make her husband pay a painful price. Unexpectedly, just as she walked out of the property office, she found her husband's car parked at the neighborhood entrance. This car had been given to her by her father as a dowry. Her husband had taken it over to use for business, and she had ridden in it fewer than 5 times. Thinking of this, she felt a little hurt. Then she took a spare key out of her bag, opened the door, and sat down inside. Without hesitation, she removed the SD card from the dash cam and connected it to her phone to review the recorded videos. Sure enough, she heard the mistress acting coquettishly in the recordings. She had never expected her husband and the mistress to have a child, and he had even bought the mistress a $100,000 handbag. That night, when her husband came home, the woman called him over. She exposed the truth about the apartment not being abandoned on the spot. Her husband still held on to a shred of hope and tried to brush it off with some random excuse. The woman said that today she had seen that building. It was a fully renovated 15-story building. She had also seen the mistress living there. Hearing this, the husband finally realized that the woman had discovered his secret. In a panic, he tried to explain to her, deliberately saying that she must have seen it wrong. The woman could not be bothered to keep watching him act anymore. She shook off his hand, took out all the evidence she had prepared in advance from her bag, and then slammed